Okay, the materials are the same basic materials that we use for surfboards. Expanded polystyrene, epoxy resin, regular fiberglass. The boards are built fairly light. Everybody seems to like them really light. The foil boards that we're building are kind of super made just for the ability to paddle really well. We want the boards to paddle well. The guys are traveling long distances on them. We want the boards to paddle well. We want them to come in and go out of the water smoothly. It's very important how the board comes back down into the water, but it's really quite a bit different than a typical surfboard. It's got more of a hull to it. It's kind of more like a boat than it is a surfboard, really. We're putting 2 fin boxes in, and we do that with a high density foam, 2 boxes inside. We set it in the bottom of the board, of course. And the foil placement, I mean, everybody's going to be a little bit different. We've been working with Eric Sturman and Pato and a few different guys. We're keeping ours fairly far back, and the guys are ended up being able to use the foils right in the middle of the box. It's extremely important where the foil is on the board. And everybody's going to be a little bit different, just like surfing. Everybody's just going to be a little bit different with their boards. Once we set the cassette in there, we cover it with carbon, and they're holding up really well. This particular board here is a 510. It's 3 1/4 inches thick and it's 20 inches wide, but it's built for a really big guy. It's got 50 cubic liters of volume in it, and that's something that can kind of translate from the surfboard you're riding. If you're riding a surfboard and you're very happy with 35 cubic liters paddling around on your normal shortboard, if it's a 6.0 or 6.2 or something like that, you can translate that same volume into your foil board, and then that way you keep your paddle. This particular foil here is a ride engine foil. It's by Sidewinder. It's one of the more or less expensive foils. It's milled out of straight aluminum, which aluminum's a light material, but it's still heavier than carbon, but it's quite a bit less expensive. So this is a good foil to kind of get started with. It has a nice lift. The guys like riding it and stuff like that. The Cloud 9s, the Go foils, a lot of those foils, although a bit more expensive, they're definitely much lighter. They're built from carbon, higher in materials, and light's always a great thing anytime you're surfing or riding foils or anything like that. The foils themselves, all of the foils are going to be just dependent on the surf that you're in. The smaller the surf, the lighter the smaller the waves, the less power that you're surfing in, the little bit bigger wing you're going to need so it will lift. And then as you get into faster conditions, your foil itself will get smaller because it doesn't need to create as much lift as you have more power. They come apart, they're bolted together, there's screws in here. You can take them apart, you can take this all apart, and you also have the ability to move the foil and move the wings a little bit on the fuselage. They're using a lot of the same terminology as an airplane. So this would be the fuselage, and this is the front wing, and this is the back stabilizing wing. And I think that as this goes on, a lot of the R&D and research and a lot of the change that's going to come from this is going to be here in the foil, not so much in the boards.